broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, what's up, everybody? You are tuned into Afterbuzz TV for Ballers, and I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce my panel.
What's up, guys? It's Emile Ennis Jr.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia, and joining us in studio today, we have special guest, a gentleman who plays Vernon on Ballers. Guys, give it up for Donovan W. Carter.
Thanks for having me.
It is such a pleasure to have you on. We speak on your character a lot, both good and bad. And so I want to pose this question: do you think Vern will be in the situation that he's in, meaning moping around the house in his nice silk bathrobe on? Do you think he would be in this position had he took the first deal?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think he maybe not this situation, but he probably would have found himself in some other type of dilemma.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree. And then, by the way, the robe looked like it was Versace, so let's keep it all the way real.
Oh, the robe was dope. It reminded me. I'm gonna go there. But you remember? Does anybody remember the robe George Jefferson used to wear around the house on the Jeffersons? It was. It's real expensive. That's all I'm saying. It was a nice robe.
Yeah, well,
I'm not a robe wearing kind of dude, but it was a nice robe.
Yeah,
it was nice.
Me neither. I wanted it for a pajama party in the future. I was trying to keep it, but they wasn't rocking with me.
Right. Okay, so your character is, you haven't signed a deal, and so now things are not going smoothly because of this situation.
Right.
Do you think that your best friend Reggie has your best interest? Because we sometimes question that, because he's the one that encouraged you to have the cocaine. So what do you think about that?
I think Reggie, he got a good heart. He definitely doesn't have the right education for his job or the right credentials. But I think he has a good heart. He wants the best for me. But he just, I need him to help me out other ways. Maybe, tell me no sometime. And that's what Spence does. He brings me back to reality. But Reggie, he just wants to have fun and enjoy life, but he doesn't understand, this money, and when football's over, you gotta think about the long term. And Reggie just thinks about what's going on right now in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, and I see that. And every week we talk about if Reggie is more qualified to do his job than Spence is, and they both have their downfalls. Right. But like Donovan said, Reggie wants the best for him. However, I was originally the one saying that I thought Reggie was the one who had the pictures and sent the pictures out, because we saw him actually taking pictures of the cocaine. Right. And if that's your dog, you're not taking a picture of your dog sniffing coke off somebody's titties. Right. So I was a little on the fence about Reggie.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was just doing that for, our personal view for later on. But,
True.
But Reggie, man, he's a good dude. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking, Vernon, as a man, he needs to handle his business too. And, he needs to look at himself in the mirror, stop blaming, Reggie and Spence and Angela. And he needs to, grow up too. Preach.
I'm so glad you said that, because now it makes it a whole lot easier for me to talk shit about Vern.
What, man? I can't.
Let him have it.
Well, since you mentioned it, I mean, I think that Vern is a yes man, which it makes it difficult for me to understand him. It's hard for me to understand that he's actually worth $101 million. Right. Now, yes, he's a good football player and so forth, but if you're that timid where you just allow people to do things, then how can I trust you on the field to all of a sudden become this beast of a player? Yeah. So that's the...
But we only see him being a yes man with Reggie. We haven't seen him interact with no chicks. We haven't seen him with no side piece. We haven't seen anybody play football. Let's keep it real.
But the reason that I say he's
Except Ricky.
The reason that I say he's a yes person is because he got 20,000 Negroes in his house, feeding them. Right. He's taking care of them. To me, that's more of a yes kind of person because he's always allowing people to use him.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you're right. Everything you said was right. However, and this is just because I know people like Vern's character. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it is that mentality of now that I've made it, even though I'm not where I want to be or what the end goal is yet, I want to make sure I give back. And that's why when they had that scene, he talked about what he wanted to do for his community. I truly believe that. Like, he actually does want to give back. The problem is when you're giving back to your family and friends, there has to be a limit and stipulation so you're not in the situation that you're in now, your character.
Yeah. Right. And people, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, people just get into the league. You got to think about it. They didn't have money before this. So you can't get money and automatically know how to manage money. It don't work like that. Yeah. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah. Like, you coming out, and I don't know if Vern grew up in the projects, but a lot of athletes grew up in maybe the projects, or they had, like, they weren't in a situation where they were like upper middle class. Some were, but some weren't. So you can't just give somebody who is 22 a couple $1 million, some millions of dollars, and be like, okay, cool, so manage this money. When your mom asks for this, don't give her nothing, just tell her no. Like, it just doesn't work. I know. It doesn't happen.
But it's fun to stir the pot up.
Yeah. I mean, with Vern, with him, like, on the field, that's not a problem with him. He's top 5 in his position, and I mean, for him to even negotiate $100 deal, he has to be, somewhat good. But for him, it's off the field, like you said. A lot of these players, they've been playing football their whole life, but they never had money till recently. Like, I mean, Vernon is on his last year on his contract, so he's only had money for 3 years, but he's probably been playing football since he was 9 years old, so for years. So, and a lot of these players, there's no blueprint on how to get money. They've been broke for so long, and then you get this money, so you got to go through stuff. You got to make mistakes, and you need people like Spencer's character who can guide you and really help you out on how to save your money when you retire.
So now let's go into Spence and Joe, because now Mr. Anderson is not happy about what he sees. We saw that he got the email last week. He's not happy, and he's pretty pissed. And so now Joe wants to walk away. What do you guys think about that? Should he walk away, or should he realize that he effed up?
I mean, I think he knows that he effed up, especially he knows he effed up. I think the thing with Joe is, and it shows kind of what we saw in the previews next week, is not a matter of if he should walk, because we've seen that Anderson doesn't respect him. So I would want to walk too. The whole thing is if you can get a client base behind you and get a team behind you, which I don't know if Joe can necessarily do it successfully, especially since the relationship between Joe and Spence, they're not really like they're opposites, but it doesn't always work to each other's advantage. And I don't know if they would be the best partnering together to do their own company. So I don't know if that would work for Joe's advantage.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you have a career and you reach a certain limit and you can go out on your own, most people, if they have that entrepreneurial spirit, they'll go out on their own. So I don't see anything wrong with that. However, we just saw, even when he was talking to Victor Cruz, and Victor was like, so is Spence coming too? The fact that he even brought it up means that Joe knows, okay, if I'm not bringing Spence, I'm screwed. So he needs to really think about that a little more, because we saw in the previews, he was just like, balls in. Like, he was just all in with it. But that says something, because Joe just started dealing with athletes when Spence came.
Yeah, he did.
So he might want to hang on. He might want to kind of pump the brakes a little bit, but I don't blame him.
Well, and I think anytime you're making a huge decision like that, I don't think you should make it out of based on emotions. Right. And right now he's basing everything on emotions, and he doesn't have the credentials, at least with the athletic side of the financial management, to back it up. And if we look, let's just say, even though he's been doing this for a short period of time with Spence, even if the athletes that he has signed since he started doing this, the ones who were at the party, if he was my financial manager, he said, I'm starting my own company, and then I remember the Joe that was at the party, I was like, ooh, no. Like, I don't think I would want him managing my money alone.
I would disagree with you only because I think from a business standpoint, I think Joe is actually very great at being able to manage. The one thing he learned from Spence is to separate the office business from the party business, where you have to show a different side, because everything, deals are not made always in the office. It's made at the clubs, it's strip clubs, right, or getting food. It's made in different places, and Joe didn't really have that until he met Spence. So he had the business side. Now we got to see the other side that he needed to have in order to communicate with the athlete players, which is why I think he can do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he can do it.
I think he can do it too.
Yeah.
I mean, but like you said, he just got to check his emotions, because if he goes out the wrong way, all Anderson has to do is, just talk stuff behind his back and show the pictures. Because I mean, he still has the pictures himself of what's going on. But I mean, Joe, you seen it with how he deals with Victor, even without Spence. He's talked to him and got Victor to buy into him. I mean,
or did he? Do you guys think? Do you think that Victor is playing him?
Boy, I hope not, because he got a salsa dancing Victor Cruz on his back.
Yes.
He was mid salsa on the tattoo.
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing him just because I feel like if my money's involved, I don't have time to play. Right. I think he really just wanted to know if he was serious or not. And the tattoo is a sign of good faith, but it's just kind of like, if I can get this dude to do it, why not? Like, he's with his homeboy, like, let's see what we can get this dude to do. So he did it.
True.
I think he's serious with it.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of TV, I think it would be best if Victor plays him.
Poor Joe.
Yeah.
Joe wants to just, do his job, have a good time, drive his BMW.
He got like a little midlife crisis thing going on.
Yeah, poor thing. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he got the new Beamer, and he partying, so he on right now.
Yeah,
that is true. He is on right now. This is it. Yeah. This is his moment.
This is his moment. So we'll see how that goes. Now, Tracy has encouraged Spence to actually go and discuss this thing with Angela. Spence says that she's crazy. At first, I felt as if I felt that Spence wasn't really giving all the information. He was trying to downplay it because he's still trying to get in Tracy's draws, or am I the only one who missed it?
No? I think they're already doing it, so he already is in there.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to do anything extra.
But I felt that there was still a little. He was hiding. He was like on the edge of not wanting to give all the information. He was like, "Yeah, we were together 6 months. It happened 2-3 years ago. But I was traveling and it just ended."
But that's what men always do. Speaking as the only woman on this table, that's what y'all always do. If we say, "So what's up with old girl that you used to date back in the day?" I'd be like, "Oh no, it wasn't nothing." Also, when you're together for like 5 years, weren't you engaged? I mean, not really though.
It was cool.
She cool, and that's it. Y'all don't ever give all the information.
Man, women don't either. Y'all don't give no information either.
Because y'all don't want to know the truth.
Y'all don't want to know the truth.
Y'all don't want to know the truth.
Y'all don't want the truth.
Neither want to know the truth.
Neither.
But you ladies are more persistent in trying to get it out of us.
Because we know y'all going in. Y'all going in just because. Spence knew what he was doing. He knew he wasn't giving all the information. He was just dancing around it like, it was 6 months, She was, it was fine. She's crazy. And that was it.
And he told her what she needed to know.
Yeah.
She didn't need to know nothing else.
So Mr. Anderson says basically you need to go, if you want to keep working here, you need to meet her. And so he meets her. And so literally, only thing I have to say about this chick is this bitch is crazy. Yeah. I'm done.
F Angela.
Well, I wouldn't. She seems a little. She's broken.
She bitter.
Yeah, she's bitter and she's broken. She said, and I took some notes. She said, I said, Angie is scorned. And then I wrote, she mentioned the boys club, Wolf Pack. she has this thing because she also says she about being passed around, and you guys just pass us around, girl. You got to take your own life under your own control.
You better preach.
It's okay. So she was. It's just the perfect example of someone who's just trying to find their way.
Get saved, or even if she didn't want to get saved, to just think that somebody genuinely loves her when she meets them in a setting where you don't necessarily meet somebody that's really down for you. Because she work at Liv, and I've been to Liv. You ain't really going into Liv to think you meeting the one for the night,
right? But for the night, or you going to party? Like that's what you're doing. So it seems like she's taking that and expecting more out of a situation where you're not getting more. You're not gonna get more, and she's taking it out on other people.
Vernon,
I have a lot to say about her, but then as you were going in, Kennelia, and then it made me think. If this chick has been passed around, she could not have put all these dudes to the same rigmarole. So there's something different about Spence. Why him, of all people, that she chose to cling on to? Why? Probably because he did something or said something to make her think you're cuffed.
Right.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, how long were they together? 6 months?
6 months.
And he was during the season, so he was in and out of those 6 months, so probably only 3 months.
I mean, looking at Spence's character, right? Breaking it down with my investigative work, I imagine. But
solid 3 months.
I think with looking at Spence's character and just the way he interacts, just let's do the characters on the show. Spence versus Ricky, like a character like Ricky. If you look at Spence has seems like a warm heart, genuine personality where it's easy for a girl to possibly fall for him in a short period of time and think, oh, he's different than these other football players.
He cooks.
Right.
You cook a meal for a chick. She thinks she
the one. Yeah. So I think he probably laid that on her. He laid the pipe. He did all the different things, and then she's thinking this is the one, and then he ditched her. My problem with this, I don't know. Great casting director. Great casting on this character.
And Susan.
What I wrote was, first of all, she was at the party. She was holding on to shit, and then I said Angie annoys me. I think the reason why she annoyed me is because while she was talking to him, like what she was saying, it was after she did her whole little dialogue or monologue really. It was after when Spence apologized again, talked about he didn't want to hurt Vernon's career, and then she said, oh, that's what I was waiting for, a nice sincere apology. And then she says, now I'll take the check. And then me and Kennelia were talking because after she took the check, then he said, okay, do you have the photos? Gave him the photos on the USB drive. One, are the photos really on there? Which they probably are. But the photos, like, if they're on the USB drive, this is my problem with today. If they're on the USB drive, they can still be on the computer. They can still be in their email. They're still in the boss's email. They can be anywhere. They can be in the cloud. Right. So I don't understand how that stops him or her from spreading it just with the check. Was there a contract signed saying, I'm not going to release these photos? Like, what else was around the check that will stop her from releasing this in the future?
And I mean,
her word, hopefully.
I don't trust her word.
If she was that bitter,
right.
Not even necessarily at Spence, but at the situation and just at the game and life.
Right.
Like she was pissed because these dudes get to do what they want to do. She got a kid and she can't. She's not respected the way she wants or is viewed the way she feels like she should be. So I guess those pictures are probably on her little MacBook. They're probably in her inbox. Because why wouldn't they be?
So if all she wanted was a freaking sincere apology and wanted to see him face to face, is this the end? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so because they built so much up about this Angela person. Just for it to be like done there. Like, it was like, we've heard about her for about 5 episodes. It was like, Angie, I don't want to meet with Angie, blah, 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 she's crazy. We see her, and then that was it. She had that monologue. She was that bitter or that upset. I don't think this is it. I think she'll be back.
We gotta see.
He's like, I can't say
something that we don't know?
I don't know. I mean, if I follows her, I'll get my check and be gone. Like, I'm not concerned about nothing.
She did sound broke.
Yeah, she was desperate.
She was all there. I don't care about his $1 million contract.
Yeah.
You could make some money working at Liv.
You can if you're doing it right.
And that's the strip club.
No, Liv is the nightclub.
Okay.
She's a go-go dancer.
She's a go-go dancer. I don't know. It's like,
She just better. I mean, it's a lot of these girls, women out here that just really want to get saved. And I mean, you're seeing it with, Amber Rose and all these video vixens. So it's like, I mean, it just, you know, she just looking for an opportunity, and she seen it with Vernon, and she was like, let me take it, because she's getting old, she's getting passed around, and Spencer didn't even say nothing to her at the party.
Sure didn't.
So you know that she probably don't got it no more.
Well, let me play on her side now.
Okay, go ahead.
Because just because you date someone that is an athlete doesn't necessarily mean you want to get saved, especially if they're not treating you like you would assume they treat these other women. So let's say he brought her back to his apartment. 6 months. That's that's quick in like real relationship terms. But when you're dating like an athlete, that's a long time. She probably got to the game. He probably had her in the friends and family section. Right. She was probably up in the skybox eating chicken wings with the families. Right. We may not know, but he probably had her feeling like she was more than just some chick that gets passed around.
True.
So maybe when he pulled the plug or he started acting shady on her, she really felt the way, because she was probably like, yo, we had something. But then again, he didn't even know she had a kid. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that, you know, oh, you didn't know this about me, but listen. Why didn't you have that conversation? Because I know when women want answers, they're gonna ask. So why didn't they sit down and have these kind of pillow talks? Yeah. So
that's why she annoyed me too.
Yeah, so she annoyed me on many levels, but again, I have to go back to the rock. Let me go back to her one more time. And then, if you only wanted a sincere apology, why didn't you say what all you had to say to him now that you got the $150,000? You only wanted a sincere apology. You didn't want anything like I felt like she should have wanted more. Like besides just an apology, she should have got off everything that she wanted him to know about her and so forth. So I just felt like I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm done.
Okay.
Well, she got her money and
yeah. Bye, Angie.
hopefully she's fine for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Charles gets his mojo back at the dealership. So now he decides to push cars in a bet. Well, at least he got some money.
Yeah.
Well, did he get the money?
That's what I was wondering too.
Any bread. Did he get money?
Because like all the other people were betting. I was confused by that. Also, and just educate me really quick, because in all the cars I've driven, and I've never driven a truck, but all the cars I've driven, in order to push the car in neutral, you have to at least have the car or have the key. But they said they lost the keys, so.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's. I've never been behind the wheel of a Ford F-150 made by Chevy. Shout out to General Motors. My dad works for General Motors. Anyway. But that's just details. Look,
I'll be overthinking sometimes.
No, he got his shine back and he was excited, sweating bullets. He was probably funky after doing this. Did he go back to work?
He did.
He went back to work?
It's Miami, so you know it's hot.
A tropical Chevrolet.
Wow, that's a really good point. So, it totally just, I have nothing to say, because you're right. It could not have started.
See, I didn't mean to start nothing.
But it gave him a sense of it gave him a sense of pride. People were cheering for him. They were rooting for him, and so now he wants to go back and play football. Now that this guy on the team is got hurt, and so now he wants in. So he goes and talks to Dule Hill's character,
Mr. Seifert.
Yeah. I like where this is going. What do you guys think about this?
No, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, you know, you've been seeing Charles the whole time, been kind of just trying to find his place since out of football, and he's been kind of depressed. So it's good to see that he gets another opportunity to compete and, you know, follow his dreams. And get about the house too.
Do we think Julie is going to be okay with this though? Because we don't know if him not playing football was something that she wanted, or if it was something they agreed upon. Like, we don't know.
Sure.
So
I'm going to say, for the sake of TV, she's not going to like it and she won't be happy, and this is going to pull them back apart to when they've gotten back together.
I think Julie, the whole show, she always been like supportive, and you know, she probably know Charles more than anybody. So she just feel like a wife, you want your husband to be happy, so you gonna support him through whatever he wants to do.
Is that a clue?
And she busy too. She a doctor. No clue. Okay. She a doctor too. So she they both gonna be busy. So she understand. But.
Well, I will hope so. I hope that she would understand, because I'm sure she's tired of his ass sitting on the sofa.
Exactly.
Not doing anything or at the dealership. So I'm hoping, but I think for the sake of TV, I think it's going to pull them apart. Just me personally.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she'll have some hesitation, but hopefully she can get over that if it's going to make him happy, as long as he doesn't end up at some other player's funhouse.
Yeah.
That. Well, and they want a baby. So when you have a baby, he's going to be away now. So does that change the conversation?
It sure does.
It sure does.
Doesn't make enough money. They can hire babysitter.
That's true. They can get them.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it ain't the same as real parents.
It's true.
It ain't.
Okay. Ricky has loser friends.
Yep.
Who is this T character, and why is he there? And Ricky's problem is his friends.
Well, isn't he the property manager?
I was gonna say, wasn't he the one from the funhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I remember.
He's his friend. Everybody has a friend. Well,
Reggie.
not every.
Yeah,
Reggie.
Yeah.
Now TT.
TTD.
TT on the game. Like, everybody has their friend.
Shout out TT, the game.
That is that kind of that guy. So
Right.
I mean, he's funny.
Yeah, probably just good. You need good company sometimes.
He means well.
Man. They probably grew up together. You always like to bring that one friend from the neighborhood and let them experience your life too when you got money. So
I don't know. At what point do you love them from a distance? Because I can't. I'm not bringing it. When I come up, I'm not bringing all y'all with me.
Maybe for the weekend.
For a weekend, y'all do a weekend.
I totally agree. Like,
But it's like LeBron. LeBron, he brought all his friends from when he was growing up, but they all got roles though. At least they got
working.
They went to school and they working for him. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that dude ain't nothing like none of LeBron's friends,
nothing.
because TTD is.
He was making breakfast though. Hopefully,
he was cooking.
Hopefully, he was whipping something up.
But talking about a hit list.
Well, that's what dudes.
I know they do that, but at the time when he's trying to get back with Bella or figure out whole situation, now they're talking about a hit list.
Oh, I gotta cover.
I can't.
I gotta. I don't want to mention it in case I bump into somebody. Okay. I don't want to be.
Go ahead, drop
it. Talk offline.
On Periscope.
No. That's it. No. Let's just. Okay, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
okay, so let's go to Ricky now. The one thing that I thought TT brought up is the fact that when he did ask a couple of the right questions. He said, "Do you love her? Do you want to marry her?" And Ricky is, of course, can't answer the question. Then he goes and gets the ring. Bella says the same thing to him, and then again. So why is he giving her a ring, yet he's not ready for marriage?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Well, he. Sometimes people just want to try to make things better anyway, and women like jewelry. We like jewelry. So he thought that giving her this ring was a great idea. However, she didn't have to throw it in the pool, though.
At all.
That made me more upset than him trying to get her back that way. I was like, you just gonna throw it in the water like this?
Yeah, I agree. She should have threw it in the water, because he, and I know, I'm always like Team Mel, but stop playing with people's emotions. Okay, you don't want to marry her, but you're gonna give her a $400,000 ring.
Don't make sense.
It's a power issue. He wants to cuff you because he is afraid now that you're gone. That she's going to fuck somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Hurts.
And that hurts his pride. So therefore, he thinks that he can buy her with the $400,000 ring. And I'm glad that she brought up the thing where she was like, "You're gonna give me a $400,000 ring? Kobe bought Vanessa a $4 million ring."
He did.
And
Does he have that Kobe money though?
that's what he said. Kobe make more money than me. So
My thing with the jewelry, because you make a good point. Women do love jewelry. However, in this situation, if he really was trying to win her back, which no amount of jewelry would have worked. However, a ring was stupid. A necklace, an expensive necklace would have been nice, or a bracelet. Yeah, earrings. There's so many other options beside a ring.
better car.
Right. I think the issue was it wasn't like it's back to what you were saying, Bam. It's all materialistic with him. It's like he's trying to buy her back as opposed to a sincere apology. All he said in his apology was, "I'm sorry for everything I did, all my fuck up." Like, he didn't say, a sincere why, what he's done, how he really has missed her. It just felt too brief for me as Bella to actually believe that he actually cares. It just seems, okay, you lost me, you realize you messed up, you left me those voicemails earlier talking about how much you messed up, then you yelled at me and called again, then you yelled at me, then you apologized. You seem bipolar at this point. So it's just kind of all over the place, to the point where I would need you to take me to a nice restaurant, sit down with me, do a face-to-face grown man to grown woman, and really try to win me back, as opposed to me in a public park with flowers and a $400,000 ring.
I don't think he knows how to do that, though.
Yeah.
Some people don't know how to express their emotions. Some people don't know what their emotions are, or they don't know how to identify with what they're feeling to be able to communicate
Well,
it.
you know what the problem was? Instead of talking to Charles about this, trying to get him to help, he went to TTD.
It's true.
Now let me defend Ricky.
No, good.
Because Bella's a smart woman. Bella knows what she's getting into. I'm sure Bella knows the background. I'm sure she knows about the dad and so forth. Mm-hmm. And so, listen, you wanted him, you got him. You need to deal with him. And so, therefore, you already know that Ricky's this kind of guy that doesn't communicate well. You know his pros and cons. So you got with him like that, then you need to deal with it, or you need to completely walk away. So it's one of the two. She should not, if she was really done, she should have not even met him.
Now, I agree with that part. I don't agree with you have to deal with it because that's who he was when you met him, because there is an expiration date on your BS.
Yeah.
I don't have to put up with it as long as you dish it out. Yeah. But I do agree, if she is really done, don't answer the phone like she was doing when he left the crazy voicemails. Don't meet up. I don't want your stupid flowers. I don't want to see you, because silence is the best weapon.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes, women, y'all need closure. She probably wanted to just, she probably curious what was Ricky doing, what he got up his sleeve this time.
Wait, do you think they wanted a completion ceremony?
Oh goddamn, I cannot.
Well, women want closure, but men don't do closure.
Yeah, we get rings or something, or jewelry, but I don't know. Ricky, he like Vernon. He need to grow up too a little bit. He don't know how to commit to a relationship. So
the one thing I will say about Vernon is Vernon has a very giving heart, and he loves. And I feel Vernon is a lot more expressive than Ricky. Ricky is 150% selfish. Vernon's not like that.
Right? Yeah. He need to be a little more selfish, but
yes.
Yeah. But I don't know. Ricky, he wild. So man, he don't even need no girl. He need to just do his thing, because obviously, he had the two girls the last episode.
And then there was little hussies in the background in the pool in this episode.
Yeah. So
was he making gift baskets for the girls this episode
too? That was a nice gesture.
It was nice.
Derek Jeter does that. They said he gives gift bags to the girls he used to sleep with.
And Simon Cowell,
nice ones too.
Yeah. Simon Cowell, he buys you homes and cars and so forth.
I need a gift bag now.
But
not giving nothing.
But I think with Ricky, Ricky was doing it to his booty calls.
Yeah.
That's who you give it to, so they won't feel scorned when you kick them out.
But he said to shut them up.
That's what so. Let's say you take a chick home, you knock her down. You okay, I'm done, and then based on this Angie person, you never know how these women will think or what they're feeling. You don't want your business out in the street. You don't want no tabloid chatter. So I'll give you a nice gift basket. Put a jersey in there. Had a jersey, some lotion. It did look like Bath and Body Works though, so it wasn't
that wouldn't work for me. Ain't gonna shut me up.
Just really quickly, I meant to mention this last week about the voicemails. I thought that was so real, because I'm not gonna tell anything, but I have witnessed. I know people who have done the whole voicemail things, where you leave tons and tons and tons of voice messages, and then you just sit back and the other person, they just sit back and just listen to it with their friends, and they just laugh.
So Bam, you be leaving voicemails.
I was gonna say, we say people, you mean?
They'll be like, you don't know who this is. This is Bam.
No, not me. But there's other people where we've listened to. This is Bam. You know who I am.
Hang up.
No, not
I'm
me.
just playing, man. I'm just playing, man.
I can see you going off on voicemails.
Oh, no, I'm the silent type. If we done, I'm gonna shut you down so you won't. I'm that type. I'll stew at home, I'll be like, this motherfucker. Like, I'll be pissed with my friends, but I won't call you. I won't text you. I'll act like you don't even exist.
That's the best because I get them working.
It is. Silence is the best. And then one other thing is, so Spencer, he's clear. He's healthy.
Oh yeah. That was nice to see.
But the doctor did say that it's psychological,
He's
so
crazy
that
as hell.
that he's crazy, basically.
He's crazy.
And so the pills that he's taking, in his mind, I guess, he thinks the pills are helping, you know, the aching of his body when it's more so it's more the mental thing. I thought that was interesting, and he was so happy that there was nothing wrong with his brain, that he wasn't really listening to the fact that no, the issue is you, not the football. So it's really the situation, which I think it went into for next week's episode, is what he did to the other player. That's what is causing the psychological issue with him, which I think is a very good storyline for Spence, because now we're really starting to see why he is going through what he's going. So I thought that was great.
He's carrying that weight.
Yeah.
He's carrying the weight of feeling guilty about what he did. He hasn't talked to the guy. But then we saw when he was in the waiting room that commercial. So he sees it's like right in front of him, and he has to address it. Otherwise, are you just going to sit here and stew and be having these mood swings this whole time, or are you going to address it? So we'll see what happens with it.
We are excited to talk to you because now this is your first role. You're a series regular. Congratulations. Okay, and then you also play. We're gonna get into that, but you also play football at UCLA.
Yes.
But when you were playing at UCLA, you had actually a very stellar career. I was looking at your stats. Your first year, you played in 4 games.
Right.
In 2010, you played in 11 games. You made 2 tackles in the game opener against Kansas State. In 2011, you played in 14 games, 1 start. You were ranked 2nd among defensive linemen with 36 tackles. Awesome. And then in your senior year, you played in 13 games, and you were credited with 13 tackles of the year. So a very stellar collegiate, stats. Did you think that after you played, obviously your goal was to go pro? What happened?
Right. After I graduated, got an agent, started training. Didn't get invited to the combine, but we have something called Pro Day at every school. It's just an opportunity for to work out in front of scouts. And I did that and didn't get drafted. The draft came, didn't get drafted. Signed got a try with the Raiders as a free agent, to make their roster for the training camp. I went up there for 3 days, got cut, and got home, and just didn't, I had to figure out what my next move was, because I still want to play football. That was my goal, but just being out here in LA, I couldn't afford to eat right and train, and started getting bills and grown up stuff. So I had to figure out another way to make ends meet. So kind of let football I lost my drive for football just because I had to work and I didn't have enough time. So then I started working and started getting into commercials, because I hit up one of my coaches at UCLA about some job opportunities, and they put me on a commercial agency, and then I did that. That's how I got involved in the business. And then Ballers sent something to my coaches about auditioning. So that's how I know. That's the only reason why I knew about Ballers is through UCLA and through my coaches. And I just got the email one day, and I thought it was a commercial at first, because I didn't know anything about Ballers or anything, and I followed up with it, and they sent me all these lines, and I'm like, man, like, this is acting. Like, I don't know, I never did it before. I was kind of, I was intimidated, but I had to talk with my dad, and he was just like, what else are you doing right now? You don't have no job, you might as well just go out for it. So I just went for it, man, and had my audition process was like 3 months, and
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
How many callbacks?
Shoot, at least like 8 to 10 probably.
Ooh.
Like, it was a lot. But
Yeah,
it was a lot. But I mean, I didn't know anything at the time, like, about any of the business or any of that side. So, but I was available for everyone, and I just did my best, the best I could do. And they liked me for the character, and they expanded the role of Vernon. And you know, got blessed to be in every episode.
Were you, because you were new to this and didn't know what to expect, were you nervous, or were you just going in and like, okay, I'm just gonna go and see what this is? And
yeah, no, I was absolutely nervous because I mean, it was just something that I never did before. But I just, you know, I just prayed about it. You know, pray to God all the time, and I just went in there, and my dad just said, you know, if you give your best, that's all anybody could ask for. So, and then I had, you know, my showrunner and my producers, that, you know, we got a really good cast and crew, and they, you know, they helped me out too, because they knew it was my first time too. So, you know, they wasn't expecting, you know, Denzel or, you know, something real, you know, great, but they just liked that I was natural and that I was raw and that I actually played football. That's what helped me out too. So they liked that about me.
Did you find that you actually connected to the character Vernon because of your football experience, or were they just two separate, you and Vernon?
No, I did connect with Vernon because I mean, like him, you know, I would love, you know, when I was playing ball, I was doing it. You know, I wanted to take care of my family. You know, I wanted to definitely, you know, get my mom and dad a house. You know, get them stuff that they you know, that I wanted to bless them because they made so many sacrifices for me. So you just want to feel like you want to pay them back as a child. But you know, I definitely could relate to Vernon because I'm young too, and you know, you know, if I was in his boat, I got a lot of money, probably would spend, you know, a lot of it because just, you know, I wouldn't know what else to do, and I would think, you know, I'm getting another contract after this. Right. A lot of times, you know, with the NFL, like the average, you know, career is only like, you know, 2.5 years or like 3 years. But I mean, I probably would have, you know, like Vernon would have made some mistakes too if I was in the league because I was just young, and like, you know, like you said earlier, you don't have anybody to teach you the right ways to live that lifestyle. You know, they just give you millions of dollars and, you know, do your thing. Because I mean, even just seeing, you know, I mean, every year something with these players, something happens every year, and you know, hopefully, you know, and I was just excited to be a part of the show to just, you know, hopefully educate these players and, you know, making them, you know, stop making them mistakes. So.
I just thought of a random question because you went to UCLA.
Yes.
Do you have any of the people you played with in school who are now playing NFL?
Yeah. I got a few of my teammates that, you know, that got blessed to get drafted and they play in the NFL. And you know, I got to learn a little bit about the lifestyle, hanging out with them. So I kind of used that as my advantage, you know, going in the role.
Nice.
So, but I mean, it's still something, you know, it was still something I had to, you know, do my research in because I never played in the NFL. You know, I just kind of, you know, watch it on TV and watch my friends. But I mean, Vernon, it was a fun role to be in. You know, I love my crew, my cast. Miami was amazing. So, you know, it was really fun to be it's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, because you spent some time down there. How long were you guys in Miami?
3 months, about 3 months. Yeah, in the wintertime, I definitely suggest going to Miami November to March. It's like no humidity. It's really nice though. It's really great. Really good time to go down there.
I just want to go back to football really quickly because I can imagine that being able to play for UCLA, great school, great team,
right,
4 years, and your goal is to go to the NFL, and then you don't make the NFL. I just want to know, how did you feel at that time to be on top at a great school, and then you are not drafted, and now you're having to literally start over again, trying to make it to the pro. How was that for you? What was that experience like?
It was definitely, I definitely was depressed when I first got cut. I mean, you know, similar to like Charles' situation, I was just lost because I mean, I knew football my whole life. Played since I was 9. I majored in history in college, but I mean, honestly, like, you know, I didn't want to do anything with that. I kind of, you know, as a football player, you kind of just get in a major because you just want to graduate because it's just tough to balance, you know, football and school. But I mean, it's not impossible. People do it. But for me, I wasn't the best student. So, but anyway, when I got home, I was just, you know, I was at home. I was, you know, when I got back, I was just depressed. You know, I was crying. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew that being at home, you know, soaking about it wasn't the way. And, you know, I just, you know, I got really close with God and I just prayed and, you know, He gave me this opportunity. But, I mean, for me, I just, you know, hopefully want to be inspiration to some of these players because a lot of my teammates still, to this day, they're still, you know, kind of lost and don't think, you know, they can do anything but football. They don't think they can, you know, just amount to anything. So I mean, I just wanted, with my story, you could do, whatever you want to do, because I never thought I would be an actor, till recently. I kind of had it was kind of a dream of mine one day, but I never I was kind of too scared to pursue it. But hopefully with my story and other people's too, even with JD, he played football too, and he kind of went into acting too. So hopefully with both of our stories, you just if you got a goal or a dream, just go after it, even if you don't have the most experience. So
I love it.
I love it. And Ballers has been renewed for season 2, and you're coming back for season 2. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats.
Same time next year.
Okay. Just a couple other football. Who's your favorite football team in NFL?
Washington Redskins.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
That's okay. I was born in DC, so
and I'm curious, what was your fastest 40 time?
My fastest was probably I'm a big guy, so excuse me.
But big guys are quick.
Yeah, I was more quick than fast. So I mean, with big guys, it's all about your 10.
Yeah.
But my fast 40 is probably like 4.9, maybe 5 flats. But that's all. That's pretty good for my size.
Yeah.
I wasn't like a blazer, but I'll catch you though.
Well, no, because the reason I was asking is when I was looking at your stats,
right.
You had a lot of solo tackles, and to be able to have solo tackles and stats, you have to be quick.
Yeah. I mean, I came in as linebacker, switched to D lineman, so I still kept my quickness a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I like I said, I always been quick, not no blazer. I didn't do track growing up, but 10, 20, I'm up there with it. I'm competing.
All right. Okay, well, let's go into Kennelia's co-piece of the week.
Co-piece of the week for HBO's Ballers, episode 8 of season 1 goes to Angie. Poor thing. I had to do it. I had to do it. When she gave her monologue about how she was passed around and got ran through and all this other stuff, like I said earlier, girl, take back your life. You don't have to get ran through if you don't want to get ran through. You don't have to get passed around if you don't want people to pass you around. Just do your nice little go-go dancing. She said she was going to college in the daytime. Get your education, girl, and stay on the right path. You don't have to be upset about anybody. If anybody is watching, listening, please don't be upset about the decisions that you make with your own life. Just, girl, keep going. You don't have to be a bitter Bernice. And I want to give a cold piecette to Vernon's robe. It looked like it was Versace. It had a hood on it. I mean, I don't know. It was silk. You need a silk hood. I don't know if you need that, if you need it. But shout out to the robe, buddy. Cold Piecette goes to you. Let us know who you think Cold Piece or Cold Piecette should be. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook using hashtag Cold Piece.
All right, thank you. And now let's go into the predictions.
And now, your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so Emile, what's your prediction?
I don't really have any predictions this week. I think I'm excited for the last 2 episodes. I think I kind of made one earlier with the Joe Spence situation. I don't think that's going to work out. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this Angela character, when she's going to come back, because I'm with Kennelia. I don't think that they would have introduced her and had to be so short a meeting.
I'm not trying to get you fired.
Sure, real talk.
Really good episodes. That's my prediction.
It was good. I'm going piggybacking off of Emile. Angie is not. I don't think that she's done for. I also think Ricky is going to have an aha moment. Because this whole time he doesn't know if he loves Bella. I think he has to come to a point where he realizes or figures out at least something about what he wants to do with her. Not necessarily that he wants to marry her,
right.
But I think he'll actually have to address his real issues about relationships and commitment, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, I have a couple predictions. Now that this money situation is or is not taken care of, now we need to go back to Reg and Spence butting heads. And Vern has to be in the middle because that's the nature of the relationship. So I'm excited to see how that works between Vern's character in the middle, and then you got these 2 knuckleheads trying to figure out who's best when both of them can take each other's qualities and then they could be the best for Vern. So I think that would be good. Julie and Charles, I think she's going to have a problem with it. because I think that's great for TV. It brings issues in a relationship. And then I'm going back to who is Ricky's daddy. So he played his dad was 81 on the Oakland Raiders, and I forgot to do my research, but Ricky's daddy has to come. So it has to be an old football player from the Raiders from back in the 80s, and that needs to be his dad, and maybe that can bring some closure before he decides to get with Bella, and then she really takes him back.
What was Bo Jackson's number?
34.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, and he was a running back.
I know.
Yeah. So those are my predictions. Bro, we want to thank you guys. We want to thank you so much for stopping by. We had a great time. We love your character. We love the show. Let everyone know where you could be found on social media, and you can right there.
Okay, yeah. You can find me at Twitter at DCSoulFly90 and Facebook and Instagram at Donovan W. Carter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I could be found on social media at Bamm Ericsen.
Me at Emile Ennis Jr. I was looking at the wrong camera. At Emile Ennis Jr. On all social media and on YouTube, Chasing LA. And Sophia is out of town, but we miss you.
You can find me at Kennelia on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And for all things current events, make sure you hit us up on iTunes. Check out Happy Hour Podcast.
And again, thank you so much. We wish you the best of luck with season 2. And we know more roles are coming your way. So, brother, you better get ready.
Yeah.
Because we are excited to see you on more film and TV.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV for Ballers. We want to again thank our special guest, Mr. Donovan W. Carter. And we will see you guys next week for Ballers. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.